Your credit card declines at the gas pump. That's weird, you just got paid. You try again, declined. You pull out your phone to check your bank app. The screen loads to white, just white. No error message, no spinning wheel, nothing. You try your mobile banking, white screen. You try to Google bank down. The search bar appears, but nothing loads. You look up, the guy at the next pump is staring at his phone, tapping it like it's broken. The woman behind you is yelling into hers. Hello, hello, can you hear me? You can hear her fine, but whoever's on the other end? Silence. You drive home, maybe $27 left in your tank. On the highway, you see something you've never seen before. Cars slowing down, not because of traffic, but because their dashboards are rebooting, over and over. Tesla screens flickering, navigation systems frozen mid-direction. A guy in a BMW pulled over on the shoulder, hood up, staring at an engine that runs on software he can't access anymore. You make it home. You try your laptop, same thing. Browser's open, but nothing connects. No Facebook, no email, no weather, no news. You restart the router, all green lights. You restart your computer, nothing changes. And that's when you notice the silence. No notification sounds from anyone's phone in the house. No dings, no buzzes, no chimes. You walk outside. Your neighbor's standing in his driveway holding his phone up to the sky like he's trying to summon a signal from God. 3 doors down, someone's crying. It's 9:42 a.m. on a Wednesday, and the internet isn't slow, it's not down in your area, it's gone. Every server, every backbone, every satellite link, every undersea cable. The entire global network, 30 years of infrastructure, just flatlined. No warning, no announcement, no countdown. One moment it existed, the next it didn't. And in that gap between existence and absence, you're about to discover something you never wanted to know. You are not the person you thought you were. You're a shell, a passenger, a tourist in your own life, and the tour guide just quit. This isn't about survival. You've got water, you've got canned food, you've got batteries and a flashlight and all the things the blogs told you to buy. This is about something worse. This is about realizing that every skill you thought you had, every shred of independence you convinced yourself you possessed, was actually just a symptom of having really, really good Wi-Fi. For the next 30 days, you're going to live without it. No Google, no GPS, no tutorials, no cloud. And by day 10, you're going to understand why the term is digital amnesia, because you didn't forget how to be human, you never learned in the first place. Welcome to the longest month of your life.
Day 1. The phantom limb. It starts small, almost innocent. You keep reaching for your phone, but there's nothing to check. The muscle memory is so deep you don't even realize you're doing it. You pick it up, swipe, see the dead apps, put it down. Repeat. Your thumb actually cramps from the motion. You laugh at yourself, but it's a nervous laugh, the kind you make when you realize you're the punchline. Your spouse suggests a board game. You can't remember the last time you played one. You find Monopoly in the closet, still wrapped in plastic from 2011. You open it. The rules are inside, but they're written in that tiny font, and halfway through reading them, your brain just quits. You're used to someone on YouTube explaining the rules in 8 minutes with timestamps. This feels like reading Latin. You give up and turn on the TV. Cable still works, sort of. The local channels are airing, but everything feels wrong. The news anchor keeps pausing like she's waiting for a teleprompter that isn't updating. She shuffles papers, she misspeaks, she looks lost. Because she is. The reporters in the field have no way to communicate with the studio except through handheld radios from the 1990s they dug out of storage. One of them is holding a paper map pointing at intersections, trying to explain where a fire is. You realize you haven't seen a paper map on TV in 15 years. It looks ancient. It looks apocalyptic. The news says it's global, not just your city, not just your country. The entire internet is down. They don't know why, they don't know when it'll come back. The president is scheduled to address the nation tonight, but you don't believe they'll have answers. How could they? The people who built the internet don't even know how all of it works anymore. It's too big, too complex. 1 trillion lines of code held together by duct tape and prayers, and somewhere, somehow, the tape failed. You try to distract yourself. You open Netflix out of pure habit. The app loads. Technically, it's installed on your smart TV, but then just sits there with a spinning circle, unable to connect to Netflix servers. You try Hulu? Same. Disney Plus? Same. You own these subscriptions. You pay monthly. But without the handshake, without the DRM check, without the server verification, they're worthless. You think about the DVDs you used to own, you threw them out 5 years ago. Everything's streaming now, you said. You were so confident. Your kid wanders in. Can I play Fortnite? You shake your head. Internet's down. They try anyway. The game launches to the lobby screen, but it can't connect to matchmaking. Minecraft. It boots to an error. Cannot verify account. Play offline. They click yes. It opens to an empty world. No saves, no skins, no friends, just blocks. They play for 4 minutes and quit. This is boring, they say. You want to argue, but they're right. The game isn't boring, the isolation is. They were never playing Minecraft, they were playing with people through Minecraft. Now it's just a program, just code, just a thing that exists without meaning. You go to bed early, there's nothing else to do. No shows to stream, no social media to scroll. You lie there in the dark, and you feel it, a vibration. You grab your phone off the nightstand, no notification. You put it back. 2 minutes later, another phantom buzz. You check again, nothing. Your brain is misfiring, inventing stimulation because it's so starved for it. You're a rat in a Skinner box and someone just removed the lever. You count the buzzes. 11 times in 30 minutes. 11 times your nervous system lied to you. You turn the phone off completely and shove it in a drawer. But even then, even in total darkness with no phone in sight, you still feel it. Ghost vibrations against your thigh. Your pocket is empty, but your brain doesn't care. It needs the hit. It's withdrawal, plain and simple. You're an addict, and you never even knew you were using. You don't fall asleep for hours. When you finally do, you dream about scrolling. Just scrolling, an infinite feed of nothing. You wake up sweating.
Day 2, the fracture lines. Morning comes with a headache. Not from lack of sleep, though that doesn't help, but from the absence. Your brain is trying to process a world without constant input, and it's failing. You make coffee. Normally, you'd check the news while it brews. Morning routine. Coffee, phone, headlines, weather, emails, social media. 5 minutes that shaped your entire perception of reality. Now you just stand there watching the coffee drip, and the silence is so loud it hurts. Your spouse comes downstairs. Did you hear about? They stop. Oh, right. They were about to reference something they saw online. But there is no online. The shared reality you both inhabited, the one made of articles and tweets and viral videos, is gone. You're strangers again. You have to actually talk. What should we do today? They ask. It's Wednesday. You work from home. Worked, past tense. You try logging into your company VPN. Nothing. You try the backup login. Nothing. You're a software developer. Your entire job exists in the cloud. The code you write, the repositories you access, the communication tools you use, Slack, Zoom, email, all of it, gone. You're employed, but you can't work. You wonder if you're still getting paid. You have no way to check. You call your boss. Actual phone call. It rings 14 times before someone picks up. Not your boss, the receptionist. Everyone's trying to call, she says. I don't know what to tell you. Just wait. She hangs up. You sit there holding the phone, feeling useless. You've worked for this company for 6 years. You've never felt more disposable. The panic starts spreading. You see it at the grocery store. It's not a mob scene, not yet, but the energy is different, tense. The parking lot is full. People are buying more than usual. Not crazy prepper stuff, just extra. An extra pack of toilet paper, an extra gallon of milk, an extra bag of rice. Enough to make the shelves look just a little too empty. Inside, the registers are a nightmare. Half of them don't work. The ones that do are processing transactions so slowly that each person takes 5, 6, 7 minutes. The self-checkout lanes are totally dead. Turns out they were cloud dependent. You didn't know that. Why would you? They always worked. Until they didn't. You grab bread, peanut butter, canned soup, basic stuff. The produce section looks wrong. Normally, it's overflowing, a monument to abundance. Today, there are gaps. Not empty shelves, just gaps. Sections where the tomatoes should be piled high, but there are only a dozen. The strawberries are gone, completely. You get in line. The woman in front of you tries to pay with her phone, Apple Pay. The cashier, a kid maybe 19, just shakes his head. Cash or card. And the card reader is slow. The woman doesn't have her physical card. It's on my phone, she says, like that explains everything, like the cashier should be able to fix it. He can't. She leaves her groceries on the belt and walks out, furious, humiliated. 3 people in line do the same thing. They have money, they have bank accounts, but the money exists only as numbers on servers they can't reach. They're rich and broke at the same time. You pay with a card. It takes 90 seconds to authorize. You watch the little spinning circle on the terminal, and you realize this is what it used to be like. Slow, analog, human error at every step. You got so used to instant that you forgot what friction feels like. Friction is the feeling of reality, and reality is slow. Outside, you see something that stops you cold. A guy is sitting on the curb with his head in his hands. Mid-30s, suit and tie. His car is parked crooked across 2 spaces, doors still open. You walk over. "You okay?" He looks up. His eyes are red. "I can't find my son," he says. His voice cracks. "He's at school. I don't know which one. We moved 6 months ago. I used to just navigate there. I'd tap the blue dot and follow the line. Now I don't even know the name of the street." His hands are shaking. What kind of father doesn't know where his kid goes to school? You don't know what to say. You mumble something about checking old emails, but then you remember. No email, no cloud. If he didn't write it down, if he didn't memorize it, it's gone. He's a father who can't find his child because he outsourced his memory to Google Maps. And now Google Maps is dead, and so is the part of his brain that used to do that work. You help him search his car. Glove compartment. Nothing useful. Just insurance cards and old receipts. No paper with an address. No school directory. You suggest driving to the district office. He nods, stands up, gets in his car. You watch him drive away, and you wonder if he'll make it. You wonder if he even knows where the district office is. You get in your car and sit there for a minute. You think about your own kid. You know their school. You think. It's on Sycamore? Or was that the old one? You feel a spike of cold panic. You start the car. You drive. You take 3 wrong turns. Every street looks the same. You've driven this route 100 times, but you never looked. You just followed the line. Turn left in 400 feet. Turn right. Arrive at destination. Your brain stored none of it. When you finally arrive, 20 minutes late, you see your kid in the pickup line. Relief floods your chest so hard you almost cry. You don't say anything. You just hug them a little too long. They squirm. "Dad, you're embarrassing me." You don't care. You failed a basic test today, and you're just grateful the consequences weren't worse. That night, your neighbor knocks on your door. He's holding a flashlight even though the power is still on. Old habit, maybe. Or new paranoia. "You got internet?" You shake your head. No one does. He nods slowly, processing. Then he asks the question everyone's thinking, but no one wants to say out loud. How long can people last without it? You think about that. Really think. The grocery stores have maybe 3 days of food before the shelves are empty. The gas stations have a week of fuel, maybe less if people panic. The hospitals have backup generators, but those need diesel, and the diesel trucks need dispatch orders, and the dispatch systems need internet. Everything is connected. And now, nothing is. I don't know. I guess we're about to find out. He leaves. You lock the door. You check it twice. You've never done that before.
Day 3, the knowledge gap. You wake up to the sound of an argument, your spouse and your kid. Something about homework. "I can't do it without the internet," your kid says. Your spouse, "Just try." Your kid, "How? The assignment is online. The textbook is online. Everything is online." They're right. You walk into the kitchen. Your kid's homework is due Friday. It's a research paper on the Industrial Revolution. Normally they'd pull up Wikipedia, copy some facts, rephrase them badly, and call it done. You never loved that method, but at least it was something. Now they're supposed to research a historical event with zero access to information. You remember you have an encyclopedia set. You bought it at a garage sale 3 years ago because it looked classy on the shelf. You pull down volume 1, Industrial Revolution. You say, flipping pages. You find it, 3 pages, dense text, no pictures. Your kid looks at it like you've handed them a stone tablet. "This is so old," they say. It's from 1998, 27 years old. Ancient by their standards, but it's information. Real, printed, offline information stored in their brain, not in the cloud. He's worth more today than he was 30 days ago. And you're worth less. You buy 3 extra washers, just in case. On the way out, you see a younger guy arguing with the same clerk. "Do you have this in stock?" The guy's holding up his phone, showing a picture. The clerk squints. "Can't see your phone, son. What is it?" The younger guy gets frustrated. "Just look at the picture." The clerk shrugs. "Describe it." The guy can't. He knows what it looks like, but he doesn't know what it's called. Without the search function, without the algorithm serving him the name, he's helpless. He leaves angry. The clerk just shakes his head. You go home and fix the faucet. It takes you 45 minutes and 2 false starts, but you do it. When you turn the water back on, it doesn't drip. You feel a tiny surge of pride.
You solved a problem without asking for permission from an algorithm. It's a small thing, but today small things feel huge. That afternoon, the mail comes. Actual mail. You haven't checked your mailbox in days. Inside, bills. Paper bills. You forgot those existed. Electric company, water, mortgage, all due in 2 weeks. You usually pay online, automatic payments. You pull out your checkbook. You still have one, buried in a drawer. You haven't written a check in 8 years. Your handwriting looks like a child's. You write out 3 checks, and you realize you don't remember the addresses. The electric company's payment address, the water authority. You dig through old statements, you find them. You write the envelopes by hand. You put stamps on them. You have stamps, thank God. You walk to the mailbox on the corner and drop them in. It feels bizarre, archaic, like mailing a letter to the past. But it's done. You paid your bills, offline, like a person from 1987, and it worked. That night the power goes out, just for an hour. But in that hour, everything breaks. Your smart thermostat stops responding, it's stuck on 62 degrees, the house gets cold, your smart locks freeze up, you can't lock or unlock them, the security cameras go dark, your fridge starts beeping an error code because it can't ping the diagnostic server to report the outage. Every smart device in your house, every piece of technology you bought for convenience is now a liability. You sit in the dark with a candle, your spouse sits next to you. We need to replace this stuff, they say. You nod, yeah. But with what? Where do you even start? How do you undo a decade of bad decisions? You make a list on paper, actual paper, with a pen. Things to fix, things to replace, things to learn. The list is long, longer than you expected. You're not prepared. You're just connected. And connection is not the same as capability.
Day 5, the supply shock. You wake up to a smell, not a good one, rotting. You walk outside and it hits you like a wall. The dumpster behind the grocery store, 50 feet away, is overflowing. You walk over. Inside, food, good food, packaged, sealed, dated. Chicken breasts, ground beef, gallons of milk, all expired, or close enough that the store can't risk selling it. But here's the thing, it's only 1 day past the sell-by date. 1 day. Normally, the store would mark it down and sell it cheap, or they'd call the food bank and donate it. But they can't call anyone. The food bank's dispatch system is offline. The trucks that usually pick up the excess, they're sitting in depots with no orders. The logistics network didn't break, it just forgot where to go. You see a guy climbing into the dumpster. He's not homeless. He's wearing Nikes and a college sweatshirt. He sees you watching. "Don't judge me," he says. You don't. You just keep walking. But you think about it. How long before you're in that dumpster? How long before everyone is? At home, you check your fridge. You've got milk that expires tomorrow, eggs, cheese, bread, maybe 4 days of food if you stretch it. You've got canned goods, beans, soup, vegetables, maybe another week. After that, you'll need to go back to the store. And every time you go back, the shelves will be a little emptier. You think about the prepper forums you used to lurk on, all those guys who said, when the trucks stop, you've got 72 hours before it gets ugly. You used to roll your eyes, paranoid nut jobs, you thought. Now you're counting backward from day 5 and doing the math. They weren't paranoid, they were right. You drive past the gas station, there's a line, 20 cars deep. The price board is dark, no digital display. There's a handwritten sign, $6 a gallon, cash only, 10-gallon limit. $6. It was $3.50 last week. Someone's making a fortune, or someone's preparing for scarcity. Either way, you get in line. It takes 40 minutes to reach the pump. You pay cash, $60 for 10 gallons. The attendant is a guy you've seen 100 times, but never spoken to. Is it true? You ask. About the trucks? He shrugs. Haven't seen a fuel delivery in 3 days. We've got maybe 2 more days in the ground tanks. After that, he doesn't finish. He doesn't need to. You drive home on a half tank and you think about rationing. You've never rationed anything in your life. You've never had to. There was always more. More food, more fuel, more everything. The supply chain was invisible, infinite, automatic. Now it's visible, and it's finite, and it's failing. That night you hear sirens, a lot of them. Fire trucks, police, ambulances, all headed south. You want to check Twitter to see what's happening. Old habit, can't. You walk outside. Your neighbor's out too. You hear that? He asks. You nod. No idea what it is. He squints towards the glow on the horizon. Think it's a fire? You don't know. You can't know. You're blind. 10 minutes later, the smell of smoke drifts over your neighborhood. Thick, acrid, chemical. Something big is burning. You go back inside. You check local TV. They're covering it, barely. A warehouse fire, 3 buildings, no injuries reported. But the reporter looks shaken. He says, firefighters are responding, but communication has been difficult due to the ongoing internet outage. Translation? They're fighting blind. No thermal imaging data, no drone surveillance, no real-time coordination, just radios and instinct. You watch the footage, the flames are massive. And you think, what if that was closer? What if that was your street? How would you know to evacuate? There's no emergency alert system, no push notifications, no robocalls. You'd have to see it with your eyes or hear it from a neighbor. You'd have minutes, not hours. You go to your closet and pull out your bug-out bag. You packed it 3 years ago after watching a YouTube video. You zip it. Flashlight, dead battery. First aid kit, half the supplies are expired. Emergency radio? It's one of those crank ones, but the crank is stuck. You try to force it. It snaps off in your hand. Your bug-out bag is useless, not because you didn't prepare, because you prepared once and then forgot about it. Preparation isn't a one-time thing, it's maintenance, and you failed. You spend the next hour repacking the bag. Fresh batteries, new first aid supplies, water bottles, protein bars, cash, a paper map, a working flashlight, a real radio. You find one in the garage, battery-powered, AM/FM. You test it. Static, then a voice. Local news. Actual information. You almost cry from relief. You put the bag by the door. You tell your family, if I say go, we go. No arguments, no delays. They nod. They don't joke. They see it in your face. This isn't a drill anymore.
Day 7, the isolation. You haven't spoken to your parents in a week. They live 2 states away. You don't know their landline number. You're not even sure they have one. You can't email them. You can't text. You try calling their cell. It rings, but no one answers. You try again an hour later. Same. Are they okay? Are they screening you? Are they even alive? The not knowing is worse than any bad news could be. At least bad news is information. This is just void. You think about driving there. It's 7 hours, but 7 hours without GPS is more like 10. What if you break down? What if you get lost? What if you waste all your gas and don't make it? You feel like a coward for not going, but you don't go. You just sit with the silence, and it eats at you. Your spouse tries to comfort you. They're fine, they say. They're smart, they're prepared. But how do they know? They don't. No one knows anything anymore. The collective intelligence of the internet, the ability to crowdsource information, to verify rumors, to check in on people, is gone. You're all isolated nodes now, islands pretending to be a network. You think about your friends. You haven't heard from any of them. You used to talk every day, group chats, memes, quick check-ins. Now, nothing. You don't even know how to reach them. Their addresses, their phone numbers, all of it stored in a cloud you can't access. You're surrounded by people, but you've never felt more alone. That afternoon, you see a missing person flyer stapled to a telephone pole, handmade, a photo printed on regular printer paper already fading from the sun. Missing, Sarah Chen, age 34, last seen Saturday near downtown. If you have any information, please call. There's a number. You stare at the photo. You don't know Sarah Chen, but someone does. Someone loves her enough to print 100 flyers and staple them around town. And the only way they'll find her is if someone sees this flyer, remembers the face, and makes the effort to call. No Amber Alert, no Facebook shares, no viral campaign, just paper and hope. You keep walking, you see 3 more flyers, different people, all missing, all since the outage. You wonder how many others are missing that no one knows about yet. How many people disappeared into the gap? You get home and you check on your kid. They're in their room staring at the wall. You okay? You ask. They shrug. I'm bored. You suggest going outside. They shake their head. And do what? You don't have an answer. All their friends live across town. They used to coordinate online, quick texts, gaming sessions, video calls. Now they'd have to actually go to their houses, knock on doors, hope someone's home. It feels impossibly hard. I miss my friends, they say. Their voice is small. You realize your kid is lonely, not because they're alone, but because they're disconnected. They had 100 friends online. In the real world, maybe 3, and they don't know how to reach them. You sit on the bed. Want to ride bikes? You ask. We could go to Jeremy's house. Jeremy lives 4 blocks away. Your kid hesitates. What if he's not there?
You shrug. Then we ride bikes. They think about it, then they nod. You ride bikes. The sun is out, the air is cool. You haven't ridden a bike in 5 years. It feels good. Scary, but good. Your kid is faster than you. You race. You lose. You both laugh. When you get to Jeremy's house, he's outside shooting hoops. Your kid hops off the bike and joins him. No coordination, no planning, just 2 kids playing. You watch from the driveway and you realize this is what it used to be like. Before the phones, before the schedules, before the apps. Kids just showed up, and it worked. You talk to Jeremy's mom. She's standing on the porch watching. "This is nice," she says. You agree. "We should have been doing this all along." She nods. "We should have." You ride home an hour later. Your kid is smiling, actually smiling. "Can we do that again tomorrow?" they ask.
Day 10, the breaking point. The generator fails. You knew this was coming. You've been running it every night for 3 hours to keep the fridge cold and charge your devices. But tonight, it won't start. You pull the cord, nothing. You check the fuel, full. You check the oil, fine. There's a choke lever, you move it. You pull again, the engine coughs once, a tease, then dies. You're sweating now, frustrated. You yank the cord so hard you almost dislocate your shoulder. Nothing. You kick the generator. Pain shoots through your foot. You curse, loud. Your neighbor looks over the fence. "You okay?" You wave him off. You're not okay. You're furious. Not at the machine, at yourself. You spent $2,000 on something you can't operate. It's not a tool, it's a sculpture. Useless metal. You sit next to it in the garage, breathing hard, and you think about all the hours you spent researching which generator to buy. You read reviews, you compared specs, you watched unboxing videos, but you never learned how to fix it. You never even considered that you'd need to. Your spouse comes out. "Can you fix it?" You want to lie, but you don't. "No, I don't know how." The disappointment on their face is worse than anger would be. They don't say anything. They just go back inside. You sit there for another 20 minutes, staring at the machine, feeling small. You think about Eugene, the old guy, 3 streets over. You met him at the community meeting. He said he knew about engines. You swallow your pride, grab the generator, and load it into your car. You drive to his house. Eugene is in his garage, surrounded by tools that look older than you. He's working on a lawnmower. You knock, he looks up, wipes his hands on a rag. "Generator," he asks. You nod. He gestures for you to bring it in. He spends 15 minutes examining it. Doesn't say much, just pokes, prods, listens. Finally, he grabs the screwdriver and adjusts a small screw on the side of the carburetor. "Idle mixture was too lean," he says. "Happens when you run it on old gas." He pulls the cord. The engine roars to life. You almost hug him. "How did you know?" you ask. He shrugs. "Experience. Rebuilt a carburetor in a foxhole in Vietnam. Fixed 1,000 of these since. You don't forget." He turns it off, hands it back. "Run fresh gas through it every month. Drain it if you're storing it. Engines don't like sitting." You offer him money. He waves it off. "Just bring me a bag of rice next time you're at the store. I'm running low." You nod. You shake his hand. His grip is firm, calloused, real. On the drive home, his words loop in your head. You don't forget. But you did forget. Or you never learned. Skills don't live in bookmarks and saved videos. They live in repetition, in failure, in hands that have done the work so many times the knowledge becomes reflex. You have none of that. You get home and you make a new list. Not things to buy, things to learn. How to fix a carburetor, how to purify water, how to start a fire without matches, how to navigate by landmarks, how to grow food. Real skills, offline skills, the kind that don't deprecate when the platform shuts down. That night, you sit at the kitchen table with your kid. "I want to teach you something," you say. You pull out the toolbox, you show them how to change a tire. Not on the car, just the motions. How to use the jack, where to place it, how to loosen the bolts. They watch, confused at first. "Why do I need to know this?" they ask. You don't have a good answer, so you just say, "Because I should have taught you already." You practice together. You take turns. You make mistakes.
You laugh at the mistakes. And by the end, they know how to change a tire. It's not much, but it's something.
Day 12, the community. You see a flyer stapled to a telephone pole, hand-drawn, community meeting, Saturday, 2 p.m., old rec center, bring skills, bring hope. You tear off one of the little tabs with the address. You're going. Saturday comes, you walk to the rec center. It's a mile away, but your car's low on gas and you're saving it for emergencies. The parking lot is half full. Inside there are maybe 50 people, all ages. You recognize a few faces from the neighborhood, but most are strangers. A woman stands up at the front. She's maybe 50, gray hair, kind eyes. "Thank you for coming," she says. "I'm Linda. I don't have a plan, I don't have answers, but I know we can't do this alone." She opens the floor. People start speaking. A man offers carpentry. He can help repair homes. A woman offers canning lessons. She's been doing it for 30 years. A teenager offers to teach basic coding on offline computers. A nurse offers first aid training. One by one, people share what they know, what they can do, what they're willing to trade. You sit there, listening, and you feel something shift. This isn't desperation, it's cooperation. You raise your hand. I'm good with spreadsheets. A few people laugh, not meanly, just it's absurd. Spreadsheets? What good are spreadsheets now? But then a guy in the back says, "We need someone to organize supply distribution, track who has what, who needs what. That's spreadsheets." You nod. "I can do that." By the end of the meeting, you've got a list of names and addresses, no phone numbers, just locations. Linda suggests making it a weekly thing, every Saturday. No phones allowed, just people, skills, and sweat. Everyone agrees. You leave with something you haven't felt in 12 days. Purpose. You're not just a consumer anymore. You're a participant. You have value, not because of what you own, but because of what you can do. That week, you create a supply tracking system. On paper, a ledger, names, addresses, resources, needs. It takes you hours, your handwriting cramps, but you finish it. On Saturday, you bring it to the meeting. People crowd around, impressed. "This is good," Linda says. "This is exactly what we need." You organize the first trade. A man with extra canned goods trades them to a woman with firewood. A mechanic offers to fix a car in exchange for fresh eggs. It's barter, primitive, inefficient, and it works. People are smiling, shaking hands, helping each other. You realize this is what the internet replaced, not just information, but community. The algorithm gave you content, but it took away connection. Real, face-to-face, I know your name and where you live connection. And now that the algorithm is gone, you're building it back, one handshake at a time.
Day 15, the fractures. Not everyone is coping well. You see it in faces at the store, in the way people avoid eye contact, in the tension that hangs in the air like humidity before a storm. The polite social contract that held everything together is fraying. You're in line at the gas station when it happens. Two men. One cuts in front of the other. Words are exchanged. Normally they'd swear, flip each other off, maybe post about it online to blow off steam. But there's no outlet now. No Twitter rant. No venting to follow us. Just raw, unfiltered anger. It escalates fast. Shoving, then fists. They're on the ground, grappling, throwing punches that mostly miss. Blood from someone's nose. People watching, no one intervening. You pull out your phone to call 911. Then you remember. You can't. Someone finally runs inside the station. "Call the cops!" But the clerk just shakes his head. Line's busy. Been busy all morning. The fight continues. Eventually, they tire themselves out. One walks away, the other sits on the curb, breathing hard, holding his ribs. You want to help, but you don't know how. You're not a doctor, you're not trained. You just stand there, useless. Eventually, the guy gets up and limps to his car. He drives away. No consequences, no police report, just violence, absorbed into the day, forgotten by everyone except the people involved. On the drive home, you think about that. How many fights are happening that no one knows about? How many crimes? The police dispatch system is overwhelmed. They're responding to calls, but only if someone physically goes to the station. And even then, it's triage. Murders and assaults first. Everything else waits. You pass a looted store. Windows smashed. Inside, empty shelves. It happened 3 nights ago, you heard. No alarm, no cameras, no one called it in until morning. By then, everything was gone. You grip the steering wheel tighter. You check your locks, you drive faster. You don't feel safe anymore. At home, you install new locks on the doors. Manual ones, deadbolts. The smart locks are gone. You ripped them out yesterday and threw them away. You feel better with metal and keys, something you can control. Your spouse asks if you're overreacting. You don't think so, but maybe you are. Maybe the fear is worse than the reality, or maybe the reality just hasn't caught up yet.
Day 18, the knowledge you lost. Your kid asks you a question at breakfast. Dad, how do bees make honey? Normally you'd say, let's look it up, but you can't. So you try to explain. You do a terrible job. You know bees collect nectar, you know they do something in the hive, but the specifics, gone. You thought you knew, but you just knew how to find the answer. That's not the same thing. Your kid looks at you, waiting. You sigh. I don't know, but let's figure it out. You go to the bookshelf, you have an old encyclopedia set, World Book from 1998. You bought it at a garage sale because it looked nice. You never thought you'd actually use it. Volume B. You flip to B. There's an entry, 3 pages, diagrams. You read it together. Bees collect nectar, store it in their honey stomach, regurgitate it, fan it with their wings to evaporate water, and seal it in wax cells. Your kid listens. They ask questions. You read more. It takes 30 minutes. 30 minutes you would have spent scrolling. At the end, your kid says, "That was cool." You realize you just taught them something, not Google, you, by reading, by spending time, by being present. Later, you're fixing a leaky pipe under the sink. You turn off the water, disassemble the connection, and find the problem: a cracked seal. You need a replacement, but you don't know what size. You take the old seal with you to the hardware store. The same old clerk is there. You show him the seal. He barely glances at it. 1/2-inch compression gasket, aisle 9. You thank him. As you walk away, you think, this guy is a living database. Decades of knowledge stored in his brain. No search bar needed. And you're helpless without one. You buy the gasket. You install it. The leak stops. But the victory feels hollow. You didn't figure it out. Someone else did. You're still dependent, just on a different person instead of a different server. That night, you make a decision. You're going to learn. Really learn. Not just watch videos or skim articles. You're going to practice. You're going to fail. You're going to build the knowledge into your hands, into your muscle memory, into your brain. You start small. You pick one skill, basic electrical work. You find a book at the library. Yes, the library is still open, and yes, they still have books. Home electrical repair for beginners. You check it out. You read a chapter. Then you practice. You replace an outlet. You mess it up. You try again. You get it right. It's slow, it's frustrating, but it's real. And at the end, you know something you didn't know before, not because someone showed you, because you did the work.
Day 22, the shift. You stop reaching for your phone, not because you're disciplined, but because the habit is finally dead. It took 22 days, but the itch is gone. You walk past it on the counter and you don't even glance at it. It's just an object now, not a lifeline, not a need, just a thing. Your spouse notices. You seem different, they say. You shrug. I feel different. You can't explain it, but something has shifted. You're more present, more aware. You notice things. The way the sunlight hits the kitchen in the morning, the sound of birds, the taste of coffee. Things you used to experience through a screen, you're experiencing directly now. You go to the community meeting. It's bigger this time, maybe 70 people, new faces. People are bringing their kids. There's a potluck. Everyone contributes something. You bring canned chili. It's not fancy, but it's appreciated. Linda stands up. We're calling ourselves the Commons, she says, because that's what we are, a shared resource, a community. She proposes expanding, weekly skill workshops, a tool library, a seed exchange for spring planting. People volunteer. You sign up to teach basic spreadsheet skills, offline, using old laptops. Others sign up to teach cooking, sewing, foraging, self-defense. After the meeting, you talk to Eugene. You thank him again for fixing your generator. He waves it off. You helped me organize my supplies last week, we're even. You realize this is the new economy. Not money, not credit, just reciprocity. I help you, you help me. Simple, human. You walk home with your family. The streets are darker now. Half the street lights are out and the city hasn't fixed them. But you're not afraid, not tonight. You have your flashlight, you have your people. You're not alone anymore. Day 28, the hard lessons. You've stopped counting days, not because it doesn't matter, but because you've adapted. This is life now, not temporary, not an emergency, just life. You've learned to live without the internet the way people lived for thousands of years before it existed. And it's not as hard as you thought. You've printed everything you can. First aid guides, edible plants, water purification, car repair. You've organized them in binders, labeled and indexed. You've shared copies with neighbors. Information doesn't belong in the cloud, it belongs on paper, in hands, in communities.
You've learned new skills. You can fix a carburetor. You can change your oil. You can purify water 3 different ways. You can identify 15 edible plants. You can navigate by map and compass. You can start a fire with a ferro rod. You can do things your grandfather could do, things you forgot were possible. Your relationships have changed. You know your neighbors now, not just their faces, their names, their skills, their stories. You've shared meals. You've traded labor. You've helped each other. The word community isn't abstract anymore. It's real. Your family's closer. You eat dinner together every night. No phones, no TV, just conversation. Your kid tells you about their day. You tell them about yours. Your spouse talks about the book they're reading. You listen, really listen. And it's nice, simple, but nice. You've also learned what you're not good at. You're a terrible gardener. Everything you planted died. You're mediocre at carpentry. You're okay at cooking, but nothing special. And that's okay, because other people are good at those things, and they need what you're good at. That's how communities work. Interdependence, not independence. You've learned that preparation isn't about having the best gear, it's about having the right knowledge and the willingness to adapt. You've learned that resilience isn't about being strong, it's about being flexible. You've learned that survival isn't a solo activity, it's a team sport. And you've learned that you were never as prepared as you thought, but you're more prepared now than you were 30 days ago. And tomorrow, you'll be more prepared than today.
Day 30, the return. It happens at 6 a.m. A beep, then another, then a cascade. Your phone lights up like a Christmas tree. 50 notifications, 100, 200. Messages, emails, app updates, news alerts, everything all at once. The screen is seizure-inducing. Your spouse wakes up. What is that? They grab their phone. Same thing. Your kid runs into the room, holding their tablet. It's back! The internet's back! You sit up slowly. You pick up your phone. The screen is a blur of color and noise. Twitter is exploding. Instagram is flooded with selfies captioned, "We survived!" Your group chats are lighting up with messages, hundreds of them. Everyone talking at once, celebrating, complaining, joking, venting. The world is rushing back online like water through a broken dam. You scroll for 30 seconds, then you stop. You put the phone down. Your spouse stares at you. Aren't you happy? You think about that. Yeah, you say, but I'm different now. You spend the morning deleting apps. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Reddit, games, news apps, streaming services, anything that doesn't serve a direct, practical purpose. Your phone feels empty afterward. It feels clean. You keep maps, but you download offline data first. You keep messaging, but you turn off all notifications except calls. You keep email, but you unsubscribe from everything promotional. Everything else goes. Your phone isn't a feed anymore. It's a tool. And tools should serve you, not the other way around. You go outside. The neighborhood looks the same, but it feels different. People are still outside, still talking. The guy 3 doors down waves. You wave back. You know his name now, Marcus. He taught you how to sharpen knives last week. You walk to the rec center. The Saturday meeting is still happening even though the internet's back. I'm curious how many people will show up. Almost everyone. 70 people, maybe more. Linda starts the meeting. The internet's back, she says, but we're not stopping. This community isn't about the outage, it's about us. People cheer, you cheer. The meetings will continue. The skill workshops will continue. The tool library will continue. The seed exchange will continue because you all realized something over the past 30 days. You don't need the internet to be human. You just need each other. Day 31, the new you. The world goes back to normal, mostly. People return to work, schools reopen, the supply chain stutters back to life. The news is full of explanations and investigations. Apparently, it was a cascading failure in the global DNS system. A bug, a patch, a chain reaction. It doesn't matter. It happened. And it could happen again. But you're not going back. Not completely. You've seen behind the curtain. You know how fragile everything is. You know how dependent you were. You know how much you didn't know. You keep your printed guides, you keep your skills practice, you keep your community connections, you keep your analog systems. You've built redundancy into your life. Not because you're paranoid, because you're prepared. And there's a difference. You still use the internet, but you don't depend on it. You still have a smartphone, but you don't worship it. You still engage with technology, but you don't outsource your brain to it. You've learned the most important lesson. The cloud is just someone else's computer, and you can't trust your life to someone else's computer. Your kid asks you a question. Dad, what would you do if it happened again? You think about that. Then you smile. I'd be fine. We'd all be fine. And you mean it.
Your mission. Here's what you do next. Today. Not tomorrow. Today. Open your Maps app. Download your entire region for offline use. Open your browser. Download PDFs. First aid, water purification, local edible plants, basic car repair, home repair. Print them. All of them. Put them in a binder. Write down 20 phone numbers. Parents, siblings, friends, neighbors, doctor, dentist, vet, anyone important. Write them on paper. Memorize 5. Keep the paper in your wallet. Delete 10 apps you don't need. Turn off 20 notifications. Buy a paper map of your area. Learn to read it. Practice navigating without GPS. Go to your local library. Get a card. Check out a book on a practical skill. Read it. Practice it. Meet your neighbors. Learn their names. Learn their skills. Offer yours. Build relationships that don't require Wi-Fi. Tonight, turn off your phone for 3 hours. No cheating, no checking. Read, cook, talk, walk. Sit in silence. See if you panic. See if your hands shake. See if you reach for it. And when you do, because you will, ask yourself who's in control, you or the glowing box? The internet came back, but you don't have to go back to who you were before. You can be someone better, someone capable, someone resilient, someone human. The digital amnesia isn't about forgetting how to use technology, it's about forgetting how to live without it. And for 30 days, you remembered. Don't forget again. Stay analog, stay capable, stay connected to people, not to servers.